Right. So here we go. So here is the other chapter 10 quiz. Just the regular one. So this will just be a review of stuff you already know. Are couples that live together before they get married less likely to end up divorced within 5 years of marriage compared to couples that live apart before they get married? 38 of the 370 couples from the study who lived together before they got married were divorced within 5 years of marriage. 56 of the 430 couples from the study who lived apart before they got married were divorced within 5 years of marriage. What can be concluded at the point 10 level of significance? So let's go forward. So, all right. So they're giving us the HO. The P lived together equals, so the P1 equals P2, where the P1 is the percentage that divorce. Is that what it is? I guess it's percentage divorce. Yeah. From the state live together before they get, we're divorced. Yeah. It's the percent divorced among those who lived together. And then P2 is the percent that got divorced, did not live together. Okay. And so, HO is always equals every problem. So what's H1 going to be here? Well, I don't know. I don't even know what the claim is. We got to find the claim, huh? Where? Oh, is it? Okay, are couples that live together before they get married less likely? So the claim is P1 less than P2, right? The percent divorced that live together. Is P1 less than P2? So that would have to be what the H1 is, huh? That's the claim. And you know the evidence. It's weak. Weak evidence, strong evidence, like usual. Okay. And so then we go to our calculator. Where are we going to go? We have a fair number of things, a few different things now that we have on our calculator, and we're going to be getting more and more in the weeks to come. So where do we go from the notes? Is this one a percentage problem or a mean problem? Yeah, these are percentages, aren't they? Right? Percent, right? That's what they're asking. 38 of 370, that'll determine a percentage. P. So we're going to do 2 prop Z test. This one's a hypothesis test, isn't it? Not a confidence interval. There won't be any confidence intervals on this quiz. 2 prop Z test. So we go there, and when you do, that's number 6. It asks you for x1 in 1, x2 in 2, x1 in 1, x2 in 2. And so x1, so that's the 38 out of 370, huh? 38 out of 370 for those who live together, and 56 out of 430 for those who did not live together. All right, put those in, and then you got to choose less than, because this is a less than question. And then see what the calculator says. And I'm getting a test statistic. Z equals negative 1.2056. I don't know how far they want me to go. This should have been less than here, huh? And then the p-value is 0.11397. I don't know how far they want me to round on that one. That good? And then they want you to, draw all the conclusions like usual on that one. So we have to compare that p-value. So I'll go to a fresh screen here. So I got a p-value equals 0.11397. And you always compare with the significance level, that whole thing. You guys are pros at this now, right? So the significance level, what's the significance level? 10. Oh, this one's a 10%er. So 0.10. So is our p-value, which one's bigger? Yeah, the p is bigger. So the p, is he low or not low? Not low. He's higher. P not low. HO does not go away, right? So what was the HO? The HO was their equal. It's always equal. And the H1 was P1 less? Yeah, less. Okay, so the HO does not go away. We keep the HO, reject the H1. This is weak evidence. HO is always weak evidence. So, yeah, we failed to reject. Failed to reject the null. Conclusion, there is sufficient or insufficient? Insufficient. Weak. Insufficient evidence to make a conclusion. Seems like there's no difference. Make sense on that one? So that's just review of what we've already learned, right? That's from last night's homework, or actually last week, huh? Next one, this is the same thing. Freshman psychology, 357 to 392, blah, blah, blah. I'll move on. Question 3. Okay. Is there a difference between the average amount of time that the rich and the poor spend in the shower? It's kind of a strange question. Was there one just like it?
I think so.
Yeah, they're just grabbing the ones from your homework and kind of putting them together here. Yeah, rich and the poor spend in the shower. I don't get where that's coming from. All right, so the question on this one then, is this a percentage or a mean? Yeah, it even average says average amount, so that's a mean. So remember, when it comes to mean, for percentage, there's only one kind, 2-prop z-test. But for the means, there's the two different kinds, independent or matched pair, right? Those are the two kind of means. So which one of these? Are these matched up? So we just did a whole practice on that. Are these matched up or not? Well, first off, they're not even the same amount of people. See how this one has one more? So no way they're matched. Don't even need to give it a thought. Even though they're kind of setting them up in a nice little table to maybe confuse us, they're not matched. These are two independent groups. It's just a chunk of poor people and a chunk of rich people. They're not like, brother and sister or some kind of matching. So it's just two independent samples. So what do you do in this case? So you go to your exam 4 notes. Two independent means. And two groups are not matched. Use the 2-sample t-test. If there's two lists of data, put them in L1 and L2 and choose data. So put them in L1, L2, choose 2-sample t-test. 2-sample t-test. And choose data. And you can do the rest, right? Is that okay? If I just go ... I think I'll just have time to set all these up with you. So you know the rest from there? You got to write I'm skipping the claim, which I say never do that, but I don't have time for that. So write the claim, the HO, and the H1. Maybe I should do that. All right, what's the claim on this one? That is often the hard part. What's being claimed? Yeah, that is a little tricky. Do you see what's being claimed on number 3? Yeah, good job. You're getting good at these. Is there a difference? Yeah, difference means not the same, not equal, huh? Good job. Are they different? So that means P1 not equal to P2. Or no, these aren't populated. I mean a U1. Same thing basically, but mu1. I should have said mu1. The average amount of times are not equal. They're different. That's what they're saying. So HO would be equal like it always is. H1 would be not equal. And then the rest, two-sample t-test, data, put it in L1, L2, and away you go. You can draw your conclusions from there. I'm going to go on to number 4. I think you're probably good with that. Let's try number 4. Do men score lower than women on average on the final exam in their statistics course? Yeah, we talked about this one, huh? I said, yeah, usually, almost without exception, the average for men is lower than the average for women in almost every class I've taught. So, so is this matched pair data? Yeah, they're not even the same amount, and there's no reason they're matched, right? It's just a chunk of men and a chunk of women. They're not husbands and wives or brothers and sisters or something. So this is two independent means, huh? Averages. So let's write the claim, though. That can be important. What's the claim on this one? Men lower than women. Men are group 1, right? Men are just coming first. Women second. So men lower than women. mu1 less than mu2. So you know the rest. HO is always equals H1, therefore would be the less. And put this data in L1, put this in L2, and we're going to choose 2-sample t-test, right? And choose data, and away we go. I'll keep moving. You good with that? You can do the rest? Is that okay? Am I going too quick? You able to get that down? 2 independent means from your notes. All right, 4 more. So on to number 5. Do political science classes, do poli-sci classes require less writing than history? We did this one too. So, okay, so the claim, population 1's less than, these are means, huh, not percentage, means. So the claim is mu1 is less than mu2, right? Poli-sci is mu1, and the history is mu2. So the HO, of course, is equals, and the H1, mu1 less than mu2. And now, what kind of test? It's again 2-sample t-test, but this time instead of choosing data, we're going to choose stats, aren't we? Because we don't have any data here. There's not 2 groups of data. So we'll just do that. You can do the rest, right? Just making sure the setup is good. You know where to go. That okay? Any specific questions on that? All right, on we go. Question 6. Do shoppers at the mall spend less money the day after thing? These are all the same questions, huh? The day after, that's the same thing. I'm going to move on. It's another one of the same thing. We did it last time. On we go. Number 7. Do students perform worse when they take an exam alone or in the classroom? We did this one too. Might be good to remind ourselves of this one. So there they have students, 11 students. Let's see what happened. 11 students were given 2 tests of equal difficulty. 1 test in a solitary room, the other in a room filled with other students. So there we go. So let's write our claim on this one. So what's being claimed? Do they do worse alone than in the classroom? So alone is mu1, that's the average alone. Mu2 is the group, when they're in a group, average. So they're saying, do they do worse alone? So what does that mean, worse alone? We got mu1, we got mu2. Alone is the mu1. The group is mu2. So if they do worse alone, then mu1 is less, huh? Lower score, lower average on the alone group. So HO is equal, of course. H1 is mu1 less. And then we're going to, now is this one, is this matched pairs or is this 2 independent groups? Now, these are matched, aren't they? Because this is the same person, isn't it? He or she took a test alone and then in a group. And then this is another same person. And this is a third person. Yeah, so those numbers are matched because they're for the same person, either alone or in the group. So this is matched. Feel good about that? You'll be able to recognize that on an exam when they're kind of all mixed up like this. That's what quizzes are to help you with when it's all mixed up. So this is matched pairs. So whenever you do matched pairs, remember what it's on your exam 4 notes. You gotta put this in L1, this in L2, and then you gotta go second, quit after you do the L1, L2, and you gotta go L1 minus L2 stored in L3, right? You gotta let L3 store the differences, and then you gotta do what is it? T-test, right? Yeah, just T-test. Just T-test. And then you choose data. And when it asks you what list, where to get the data list, L3. So that's important. Right? Because the data is in L3 on that. We good? Question? So we good there? Does that make sense on that? So remember, for the matched pairs, you always have to, do the L1, L2, then you got to do the L1 minus L2 stored into L3. That's special operation. And then it's t-test data, and your list is L3. All the differences are in L3. One more. Question 8. Do college students enjoy playing sports more than watching sports? I think we did this one too, didn't we? Or we looked at it? It's all familiar. All right, so 11 randomly selected college students were asked to rate playing sports and watching sports. So, all right, what's being claimed? Do they enjoy playing more than watching? So, mu1 greater than mu2, right? Playing is mu1, watching is mu2. More is greater. Like that. So, HO, H1 equals greater. And now, is this one matched pair data, or is this two independent groups? Yeah, these are matched up again, because this is the same person saying how he or she feels about playing sports and how he or she feels about watching sports. All right, so these are matched. These are matched pairs. Those data are connected in pairs, so that means you know what you're going to do. You're going to do L1 for the first row, L2 for the second row, then you're going to go second, quit, and you're going to go L1 minus L2 stored into L3, and then you go t-test, and you choose data, and when it asks you where's the list of data, you tell it L3 is where my data is at, and the rest is normal.